Do you want me to talk about what's going on in the world right now? Do I need to talk about what's going on in the world right now? To set the stage? Obviously it's important. Okay. Please, because I have no friends right now. Okay. I know. Love him. What we're talking about? We're talking about what's going on in the world. And
what is going on in the world?
A lot's going on in the world. So there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. We are in the midst of a massive pandemic, and that causes a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear for all of us, especially as we are about to embark on maybe a job search. There are many things that we can't control, but the things that we can control, we're gonna talk about that today, in essence of the job search. So there's one resource we all share right now, and that is time. So we are gonna spend some time talking about all the things that you can do during this pandemic, getting your resume ready to go, really talking about, no, we're not gonna talk about that, but those are the things I want you to do. I want you to spend this time getting all of the things you need ready for that job search, because this is a great time to really spend some time. So that will definitely help ease some of our anxiety and some of our stress about this job search that we don't really have any control over. So today, what we're gonna be talking about is navigating that Zoom or Skype or Facebook interview. More than likely, you're going to be interviewing over a computer. So how can we make sure that you are presenting your best self during this next phase of the interview process? So the two things we're gonna be talking about today is how we best present ourselves and how we prepare for this interview. So let's get started. The first thing is we need to be talking about our computers, right? So we're not gonna be having the nonverbal cues between people. So what we wanna do is make sure that your computer's set up. You know how to navigate these platforms, whether it's Zoom or Skype, you wanna practice, right? You also wanna make sure you have good lighting. So make sure you're not in front of a window, make sure you've got some actually depth and breadth, make sure there's something interesting actually behind you. People are gonna be looking at you, but they're also gonna be looking around you. What does it look like? What does the background look like? What are you wearing? A lot of colors can sometimes be distracting. So maybe something just nice and simple like a black blazer and a white shirt really highlights your face. Because again, it's only from here up that people are gonna be focusing in on. You also wanna make sure your clothing is super simple and basic. So don't wear a lot of crazy busy patterns or very vibrant colors. Again, you wanna make sure that the focus is on your face. So that's where the lighting is important and the simple but yet interesting background. So while you're making sure that you're presenting your best self, it's really important that your audio on your computer works. Now, most likely your computer will be fine, but if you don't have one of these, you may want to get one of these. This will help isolate your voice and really help to ensure that you're being heard. You want to make sure your interview answers are crystal clear. And then of course, the most important aspect is preparing the content of your interview. What are you gonna talk about? Tell me about yourself. Let's talk about your strengths. Do you know about the company or the organization? Do you know their mission and vision? All of those aspects are extremely important so that when they ask you a question, you'll have a solid answer.
It seems like every topic's your favorite.
I know, I do. I love all of customer services. Isn't that so pathetic?
We already did a video where you said
my most favorite things. I know. Resumes are my most favorite thing, but interviewing is like my most favorite thing. So
okay.
Maybe what we can say is stay tuned for the next one, which all we will talk about is interviewing. So let's talk about the main differences between an in-person interview and a virtual interview. The first one is we are so used to reading individuals' body language. And so it's really hard virtually to be able to read that language. So we're gonna talk about some of the main differences between an in-person interview and a virtual interview. So some tips that I wanna make sure that you know is you wanna make sure you're looking directly into the camera rather than off to the side. So by putting a little sticky note next to where your camera is and maybe a little arrow, you will be reminded to look directly at the camera, and it will actually give the illusion that you're looking directly into your interviewer's eyes. That will again stimulate that face-to-face interaction that we're missing. So if you're using your laptop, you don't necessarily want to rely on Wi-Fi. You want to plug directly right into the wall. You want to plug directly into the wall so that you don't have to rely on the Wi-Fi signal. Again, because we're in a virtual platform, sometimes those nonverbal cues are a little bit more trickier to read. So you want to make sure that you're pausing in between your answers to your questions. People may be looking down, they may be taking notes. Again, you're not going to have that direct eye contact. So once you're done answering the interview question and you feel like you've really done a great job articulating your ideas and your thoughts, just stop. Wait for the next person to ask you a question. Again, smile, nod, but don't rely on their nonverbal cues to get you to stop or to get you to talk continuously. You also want to make sure that you've answered all of their questions. So let them direct and guide the interview. You are not in control of the interview. But I would also recommend having 2 to 3 really strong, solid questions to ask them at the end. Ask them about the culture. Ask them what they're looking for in a new hire. Maybe ask them what they anticipate the first 30 days to look like for this person in this new position. These are all really great questions that you don't necessarily already know the answer to, that will show that you're interested and really excited about this position. You don't want to ask anything that's self-serving. Don't ask what the benefits are. Don't ask how much money you're going to be making. Again, asking about the culture, the climate, what they're looking for, and don't forget to thank all of the people that participated in your virtual interview. After you've asked those thoughtful questions, please thank everybody for taking the time out of their busy day to interview you. I would also follow up with an individual email to all those individuals that have interviewed you, thanking them for their time and the opportunity for you to interview with them at that organization. So I know we haven't talked too specifically about the actual interview questions, so stay tuned. If there's a specific interview question that you have, or maybe you've struggled with in the past, leave it in the comments below and we'll be sure to address it in our next video. If you liked what you heard today, please click the like button and subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Maybe that's what I need to not do, is think so much. Okay, I feel really good about this one. I feel like it's short, sweet, to the point, and super good. And it's only 12:51. I thought for sure it would be like 4 hours. Like, stop it. Stop taping. Okay.